That's one of my trucks. But there's the 35. Hey, hey, hey.
Oh, panel.
Yeah, that was
Chevy panel. 35 Chevy.
Yep.
Well, I'd be all over that one. I just sold a 37 and I regretted it before they even picked it up.
Letter from President Kennedy back in 62.
Oh, a letter to you from President Kennedy?
Yeah. It had his signature, but it faded away to nothing.
That's cool.
But I still got the stamp and...
The president has asked me to thank you for your letter in connection with your question. The president's hair is chestnut brown, which often in the summer, due to the sun, has a reddish sheen.
Yeah, because we were talking
You
about...
sent the president a letter asking him about his hair color?
Because I had red hair and nobody in school had red hair.
Chestnut.
But this is a L88 that in the back of my 35 Chevy pickup. That went in there for a day and a half, and then
A day and a half?
Yeah, the cam broke in 3 spots.
Wonder how that happened,
This
Dave.
is a 446 pack Roadrunner. That was Monday.
Nice. Monday?
It caught fire. Center carburetor melted, so I put a 4-barrel on it. This is Friday. And my then girlfriend, then ended up being my wife, she got a ticket and they put down that she was a man because she had a deep voice. And, I never heard the end of that car. This is a 53 Ranch Wagon, flathead V8, 3-speed overdrive, power steering, power brakes, air conditioning.
Wow.
And they said they didn't have it back in 53.
That's pretty loaded up for a ranch wagon.
Yeah, that's me.
Is that you?
A long time ago. There's our mom and her Lincoln.
Oh.
And 53 or 54 Dodge pickup. I put a 260 or 289 Ford in it, automatic.
That's cool.
Big fat tires. When I was in the Navy, we had 4 of them at a time.
Oh, thank you for your service, Dave. Didn't know you were...
Yeah, this is Lemoore, California. This is...
Yeah.
I was into all kinds of cars. Mustangs. I had a 64 and a half Mustang. I traded, well, my dad, when I was in boot camp, I had 35 Corvairs in the backyard in Seattle. Because I'd work and I'd work off trading for cars, and all of a sudden these Corvairs, nobody wanted them because Ralph Nader said they were a death trap. So I could get them for almost nothing. I could mow lawns and...
Yeah. My mom dated a guy named Dean when I was about 5 when we lived in Walla Walla. And he always had like 10 or 12 Corvairs around. He worked on them all the time.
My little brothers, my brand new Yamaha. That was a brand new Honda back then. That's me on a 305 Dream chopper. Probably the only one in Southern California.
My grandpa had a 300, maybe it was a 305, it was a blue Dream, and it had big white walls on it, and those big fenders that went all the way around.
That's what made it the Dream, was it was that
I wore that motorcycle out.
Stuff. And then
seeing lots of 50 Chevy
and
stuff here.
This here was 11.5 foot tall. It was pretty cool.
What's that, Pontiac right there?
Yeah, Mom's Grand Prix, my Buick Special, my 55. That was after we stuck it in the garage and painted it orange. It ended up being black with yellow. It's in here too somewhere. This is my little 61 Fiat 1100. I paid 35 bucks for it. I parked it at the shop. Somebody backed into it, put a little dent about that big. I charged them 35 bucks for it. They gave me 100. So I was ahead of the game, right? The next day I painted it black, and then I put blue flames on it.
Oh, that's cool.
Then I gave it to my brother to run around to college with, and he did a green paint job with an endless line. That's one of his trucks there, Dodge. We built that too. It's a 35 ambulance with a 61 cab. And that's a 59.
Oh no, that's
Jeep
bad.
at 100 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
I drove it all the way to El Centro, California and back to Lemoore.
I'd sure like to have
With
those quarter
wheel
panels
like
right
that.
now.
That's a long way. El Centro, that's all the way down by Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, right by Mexicali. I went over there a bunch of times. My dad sold all of them and bought that. When I came back from boot camp, there's this Mustang convertible sitting there.
And all your Corvairs were gone. Did you get the Mustang?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Well, This is a picture just before I sold it for $200.
Oh,
The motor blew up, but I bought the Chevelle that day.
yeah.
And then there's the Dodge. Me in the Navy.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Let me see that one.
That's in Memphis, Tennessee. There, race riots broke out in.
That's
Young
really
Dave
cool.
serving his country. Thank you, Dave, for your service, sir.
Yeah, that's the day before I went in.
They made a man out of you, didn't they?
And that's the day afterward.
That's so cool.
This is my mom's pictures and stuff. Yeah,
How cool.
Yeah.
and then
Thanks for sharing all this. That's pretty awesome.
One of
Oh, what happened to the Camaro?
fell down in a canyon at Fall Creek.
It just fell all by itself, Dave?
Well, it had a little help.
Okay.
And then that's from 1962.
That's when I was born. When that dude jumped off the Space Needle.
Oh my gosh. Did
He said,
die?
well, he said,
still
Rick's
here.
here.
Oh,
He
that
said,
was you?
Rick's here. What?
Yeah, that's me.
That was you?
That's me. This
He
is
pulling my leg. Oh, that is him.
this is the one of those newspapers that you could get made up.
Oh, okay.
World's Fair. Yeah, this was at the World's
Yeah,
Fair.
he tricked me.
You were funny.
He probably let you believe that for a long time, huh? Oh, don't get the photos and stuff.
That's me and my second wife
That one's known
and
for
all
that.
my
I want that
kids.
thing to get a drink, and that thing will never come on.
There's my brother.
It comes on just here. I've done that before.
Let's see.
Throw it down and just drown it.
Everybody's
love
on
those
the
guys.
show.
That's my Scout that I had with a Boss 302 motor in it. Big fat
Having a little
tires.
fun. Where you at? There.
Fall Creek Reservoir.
Yeah.
January 1st, 1976.
Like
I
a
think.
steel trap. This guy.
My
Remembers the
ex-wife.
dates.
Oh, look
here
at
we go.
that.
There's my 35.
Oh,
That's cool.
okay. That's a good shot of it right there. Right on.
I like the one on the next page too.
All right, let's see it.
I like it. You know I like those on the next page. I like it a lot. Right there.
Oh, that is cool.
There's a picture of that in the other book. It's bright canary yellow, and then it's black texture paint back here.
Those are neat.
And that was
Yeah.
back in 70-something, 70.
That's like the Ford version of the Dodge's Little Red Wagon,
Yeah.
I
right?
don't see
Yep.
those on the road anymore.
No,
do
you don't.
Yeah, I can't remember what the Ford one was, but they had a Ford one with
Did
a
they?
427 overhead cam.
Was it mounted in the back?
Yep.
Cool.
And it had fuel injection pipes sticking up out of the back.
Nice.
And then those are all family stuff. Me and my wife. Oh, there's my 1960 or 1959 Thunderbird. That was the push car for the world's fastest small block dragster.
Oh,
Chevy small block.
is that the dragster you had on your shop wall?
No, it ran against that one though.
Yeah?
That's what's funny. My
Oh,
brother's
no.
Ranchero.
Oh no, my condolences.
This was bright red. And there's a picture in the house with my brother standing next to it. We changed it to bright red. This is the day he bought it. But
I had one of those 72, and I
lowered
traded
the
it
hell
for
out
a
of it.
I traded it for a Honda 250 for Jamie and a old internet. Oh,
There's the Camaro.
Oh, down the cliff.
there's the
Yeah.
Camaro, but there's where you don't want to park it.
And see this here?
Let me see this here.
Yeah, that,
Yeah, it's
I went through the tunnel
How not
on
to
Highway
park.
58 by Oak Ridge at 140 miles an hour and end up sideways with this car with
Is-
that front end on it going hunting. I was going up to Crescent Lake to go hunting. That
Boy, that's a wild front end. That's off like a IROC car or something,
it's a
right?
Stock car front end. I
Yeah.
started stock car racing and I put
He was
that
all
on there
bummed
and
out.
drove
He
around
said,
on
I
the
wrecked my
street.
Camaro. I need
Upset the
something to
cops.
put on the front of it real
Upset the
quick.
cops.
Yeah. Well, see, after it wrecked, I mean, it was
After it wrecked, Dave.
well, you know.
Yeah, I know.
But that's my
After it
58
wrecked.
Impala,
That darn car.
59 Ford, 62 Rambler, my brother.
Well, you got some memories in these books, don't you?
Oh, my 61 Oldsmobile
What the heck?
98, I think it was,
What's on the back?
convertible, the hood.
Oh,
I
okay.
sold it to a guy. I sold it to a cook, and he left it parked out in this lot, so I took a picture of it. I used to buy and sell cars a
Oh,
lot.
there's stuff on the
You
back.
still do, Dave. What are you talking about? You just sold a truck to me.
Armona, California, 2.5 blocks from our house. 62 convert. 1972 is when Mom took that picture. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, we
cool.
appreciate
Thanks
you
for
sharing all this
sharing. Yeah,
stuff
that's
with us. Oh, he's not done. He's got a couple.
I got more albums. I got a whole drawer of
Yeah, we'll have
Hot
to-
August
can be our
Night.
own
We're gonna have to do
Andy,
2 books at a time. Yeah, we still got to get
Well, I
back.
used to go to Hot August Nights all the time, so
Yeah, that
I
looks
got
fun
books
right there.
and books and books of cars and trucks that I've worked on and dealt with. You know, I built that. It's 11.5 foot across. The back end, dual flotation tires.
Yeah, that looks like a fun ride right there.
That ran into the side of the Chevelle. That
It
and
it
almost
ran
killed
into
me.
it ran into the side of the.
Well, my
these
brother
cars.
was driving it.
Okay.
There's
Nobody
my
gets the blame
69
for being
Torino
behind the wheel
GT.
on any of these
Torino.
mishaps.
Right over Ricky's alley.
I want to know what happened to this.
And this is
Jeep.
160 mile an hour El Camino. When the Trailblazers won their,
77,
yep, I got a ticket.
or was that 76? 77?
77, I
Yeah.
think. I got a ticket with this. It had a 327 in it with a 411 rear end. Well, it blew up, and I went and bought a rear end at the wrecking yard, and it ended up being a 225.
Too tall, yeah.
It was a highway patrol pursuit car's rear end.
What year was that? A
tell me-
69 or something? Right?
66.
I want him to tell me what this Jeep went and did all
Okay,
by itself.
That there, right here.
Yeah?
There's
Oh,
a
okay.
steel plate right there.
Yeah.
And then there's wires in here.
So when you go point at
this
your
is
temple and say like a steel
broke.
trap, you mean it.
Yeah. But I went through a 15 mile an hour corner at 100 and something.
I think you ought to put those away with this. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
with
water
everything.
coming this way. I'd hate to see.
But that car there got painted black after that picture. And then I wiped it out because my wife left me. And I sat with Roy Orbison and
Oh.
Merle Haggard Jr. in a bar in Bakersfield. And
How cool
got
is
drunker
that?
than-
Car?
yeah, got
Yeah.
drunker and then wiped it out about 2 weeks later in the fog. Took out 500 foot of freeway fencing, 5 acres of cotton, and 2 signs.
5 acres of
Two
cotton.
signs.
Yeah, because I had to
signs.
pay for it.
Oh,
I know all of that good stuff. And this is just stuff that I've had, my Blazers and my babies,
Cadillac.
my caddies.
Yeah,
I worked at the Cadillac dealership in Eugene.
cool.
right
I
on.
think that's my sister.
I think that's my sister.
My mom's BMW.
Cool.
Cool. Very cool.
Anyway.
Awesome.
Well, nice meeting you guys. I'm gonna.